to the entertaining Talkin' Sports.
What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. And in this video, I am going to talk about some news that has been leaked. Potential rumors about a lot of people's number one choice to be the New York Giants' next head coach. That, of course, is the young, talented college prospect in Matt Rhule, who formerly coached the New York Giants and then went on to coach Temple. Did a great job of turning that program around. Then he went on to Baylor and did the same thing to the point where that team was really an overtime period away from competing in the college playoffs 3 years earlier. I think they had won one game. So he did a fantastic job in both programs, demonstrating that, he has the ability to really coach a football team, and he's a young mind that a lot of Giants fans would really be interested in. Before I get started, I just want to give a quick shout out to Nick Young, who pointed me to the article, and I'll get into all the sources. I know people like me to say that as I start showing the quotes. But, great job, Nick, and I'm going to get into the video. Now, I am a big fan of Matt Rhule. I would either have him or Rivera as my two favorite choices to be the New York Giants' next head coach based on his track record. It would be incredibly encouraging if we could bring this guy in. Now, Pat Shurmur still right now is the coach, and it's possible he stays on. But, more and more rumors are starting to leak that we will probably move on from Pat, and it's certainly deserved at this point. And if we could bring in Rhule and maybe get him an experienced coaching staff behind him, but that may be the problem. We'll get into that in a second. We could really be looking good going forward because I think this guy's a bright future and a lot of teams are going to be interested in his services. There's Matt Rhule, and there is the first quote. This was an article written by the Pro Football Network. As you can see, it came out a while ago, about 18 hours ago. Benjamin Albright was involved in the quotes along with Tony Pauline. And it says that Matt Rhule will be one of the hottest NFL head coach candidates this offseason. According to the PFN insiders, there are already two teams interested in interviewing him. And according to Pauline, Rhule has a preference. And then let's get into the next quote. This is a tweet right off of Benjamin Albright. Matt Rhule will have his pick of NFL jobs should he want to leave Baylor. 3 teams already interested. And this is the quote about the New York Giants. While numerous teams will be chasing Rhule this offseason, will the feeling be mutual? Does he already have a preference for where he would like to coach in 2020? As noted earlier, Pauline's sources have told him that the Giants' head coaching job opens up. He's interested in the position. However, Albright reports that Rhule would want near total authority. Would the Giants' general manager, Dave Gettleman, be willing to concede power to Rhule? And that was the exact problem with the New York Jets last year when he potentially could have came on to be their head coach. And a lot of Jets fans wanted him to be the head coach. And obviously they ended up with Adam Gase because he was not willing to concede power. And this is a quote referring to the Jets. I think this was a couple of days ago when talking to 1660 Dallas. I don't want to say anything about that job. That's referring to the Jets. At the end of the day, I'm never going to be in an arranged marriage, he said on ESPN 1660 in Dallas. I'm never going to subcontract out jobs for offense and defense. I'm always going to hire people I believe in and are going to do things our way. So there you have it. There's some of the quotes. And the question is, would the New York Giants feel strongly enough about Matt Rhule's candidacy as a head coach to give him some power in the personnel decisions? Now, I don't think they'll ever give him full power. I think Dave Gettleman will certainly have some say. But will they be able to come to a mutual agreement, and will they be able to convince Rhule that he will have a say in those decisions? It seems as if the Giants are a team on his radar, believe it or not, even with some of the things he said about staying on with Baylor and having unfinished business. At the end of the day, it is most coaches' dreams to be able to coach in the NFL, and the New York Giants do have a rich history. I'm worried about the current situation in attracting head coaches, but maybe Rhule sees a lot of promise and opportunity with this team if he does have some say as to the coaches that he may bring on and to the personnel decisions. Like I said, the Giants have not demonstrated that in the past to be willing to do that. Obviously, with the last 2 coaches they've had. Ben McAdoo wanted to have a say in, obviously, potentially trading up for Pat Mahomes. They did not do that for him. He didn't have personnel decisions. The same can be said for Pat Shurmur, which is why Pat was here in the first place. The question is, are the Giants willing to bend a little bit if Rhule is a potential, realistic candidate? And by the sounds of it, he may very well be if the Giants are willing to change their ways and give him some say. I don't think they're going to give Rhule full say. But if they're willing to give him some of the say, will Rhule come here? And will the Giants view him as the number one candidate? Well, that's the question we're going to have to wait and see. First, obviously, we're going to have to see if Shurmur is fired. But if he is, which I think we all expect, Rhule may actually be a guy on the radar. And I know he's a guy that a lot of Giants fans are really, really excited about. So we'll have to wait and see. But that is some good news potentially in the coaching search, as he is a guy that will be sought after by many teams. If you went on to read that article, it later went on to say that pretty much every team with an available job would look for this guy to be a head coach. But Matt Rhule has been very successful in college. He's turned that program around in Baylor. So if you don't give him the ideal situation, I don't see Matt Rhule joining your club. He could obviously stay on with Baylor. He's one of the best coaches in the country and make millions of dollars there. So the Giants are going to have to make it worth his while if they want to bring him on. We'll have to wait and see. As always, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe, drop a comment, maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.